In this video, I'm going to provide an overview of the employment options for international students on F1 and J1 visas. So if you are an international student in the US or planning to come to the US, you want to make sure to watch this through to the end, as there's certainly going to be valuable information you may be unaware of. Coming right up. Hey, it's Chuki here from SojourningsCholar.com, where we help international students thrive academically and professionally. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest high-value content relating to studying abroad as an international student. This video is part 1 of a 2-part series on employment as an international student in the US. For this video, I'm going to be covering all the employment options for international students before graduation and after graduation. In part 2, I will be answering frequently asked questions pertaining to employment as an international student. So let's jump right into it. There are 3 options of employment while you're enrolled as an F1 student in the US. In order of complexity, these are on-campus employment, Curricular Practical Training or CPT, and pre-completion optional practical training. So let's start with on-campus employment. This is any employment paid directly by your university or an approved affiliate serving students on campus in a building owned by your university. Examples are jobs such as cashiers, tutors, library assistants, which are typically held by undergrads, or graduate teaching assistants and research assistants, typical for graduate students. Compared to all other employment options for international students, on-campus jobs are the only form of employment that does not have to be related to your major. For most international students in F1 and J1 visa statuses, on-campus jobs are the first type of employment obtained in the US. Apart from the money earned while working on campus, some of the benefits of working on campus is that you can start getting US work experience that could be relevant on your resume, as well as growing a network of people who could help you with future employment or educational assistance. And in most universities, graduate students' jobs such as TAs and RAs also provide tuition assistance and health benefits. For on-campus jobs, there is no authorization needed to begin work. An authorization essentially means that your international student office needs to modify your Form I-20 before you can start working. You are required to maintain F1 status throughout the length of time while you're holding an on-campus job. The limitations of on-campus jobs are that you're only allowed to work part-time, defined as 20 hours per week maximum, during a regular semester, such as the fall and the spring. You can work beyond 20 hours a week during the official university breaks such as the winter holiday and the summer semester if you're not enrolled. You will need to have a U.S. Social Security number to earn income, but not necessarily to start working. You could obtain the Social Security number from your local Social Security Administration office, linked in the description section below. To do so, you will first need to get a letter from your designated school official, DSO for short, confirming your status and the type of work that you will be doing while working on campus. Your next option is Curricular Practical Training, CPT. Now, CPT is defined as an employment that is integral to your academic program. This must be a work experience that is needed to complete your degree or work experience that you could earn course credit for. To put this simply, engaging in CPT should not slow down the time to completion of your degree. Some examples are internships and co-ops, which could be paid or unpaid and could be done off campus or while working remotely on campus. CPT is a great way to get experience in your field prior to graduation, and is also a great opportunity to grow your network outside of your university, which could potentially open doors for a full-time position after graduation. To be eligible for CPT, you must have been enrolled full-time for at least 2 semesters while present in the US on an F1 visa. The only exception here are students who have programs that require an immediate participation in CPT within the first year of study. You must also have a job offer, and the job must be directly related to your major. Now, if CPT is not required for you to graduate, you must earn course credit during the semester that the CPT was held, with slight exceptions depending on your university. Now let's talk about the limitations of CPT. There are 2 ways you can use CPT. These are part-time, defined as 20 hours or less per week, and full-time, defined as more than 20 hours per week. However, note that if you complete 12 months of full-time CPT, you become ineligible for OPT. So technically, you can work on full-time CPT for 364 days without affecting your future OPT plans. Furthermore, with CPT, any changes in your employment requires a new CPT authorization and must be reported to avoid violating your F1 status. You are also required to pass the course for your CPT authorization, otherwise you will be violating your F1 status. The last option of employment before graduation is pre-completion OPT. Now, OPT is a temporary employment directly related to a student's field of study, but unlike CPT, is not an integral part of a student's program. This type of work authorization is processed through the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services Office, U.S.CIS. To be eligible for pre-completion OPT, you must be enrolled full-time for at least 2 regular semesters in F1 status while present in the United States. No job offer is required to receive authorization, unlike CPT, and you can only work in a field that is directly related to your major. For pre-completion OPT, you will need to obtain an employment authorization document from U.S.CIS to begin work. This card could take as long as 6 months to obtain, so advanced preparation is required. On pre-completion OPT, you can work part-time during the regular semester and full-time while on university breaks, with the exception for PhD students in the process of completing their dissertation who can work full-time on pre-completion OPT. All forms of employment by pre-completion OPT must stop upon graduation. Most importantly, pre-completion OPT subtracts from post-completion OPT at a 2-to-1 rate for part-time employment and 1-to-1 rate for full-time employment. So what this means is that if you work 2 months part-time on pre-completion OPT, you get 1 month deducted from your post-completion OPT. And if you work 1 month full-time on pre-completion OPT, you get 1 month deducted from your post-completion OPT. All F1 students have the benefit of working for a period of 12 months upon the completion of their studies. This is called post-completion OPT. The eligibility requirements are similar to the pre-completion OPT in that no job offer is needed and you can only work in a field directly related to your major. You are allowed to apply as early as 90 days before your graduation date and as late as 60 days after your graduation date, with the exception for PhD candidates who can apply as early as 90 days before their dissertation defense date and as late as 60 days after their dissertation defense date. To learn more about how to apply for your F1 post-completion OPT, you can check out several links contained in the description section below. You would also find a free downloadable PDF checklist to guide you along the way of applying for your post-completion OPT. Students currently on the post-completion OPT who have obtained degrees in STEM field may be eligible for an extension of 24 months after the completion of their 12 months of OPT. However, unlike the eligibility requirements of the OPT, you must have a job offer with the company that is registered in the E-Verify system. Also, you must not have accrued more than 90 days of unemployment while on OPT. Now, let's talk about the employment options for J1 students. The options of working on campus are quite similar to those of F1 students in the sense that you can work a job that does not relate to your major and you also do not require authorization to begin working. However, in order for J1 students to work off campus, they need to obtain authorization in the form of J1 academic training. This J1 academic training is for a maximum of 18 months for BS and MS students and a maximum of 36 months for PhD students. All forms of J1 academic training is considered full-time employment, whether you work under 20 hours a week or over 20 hours a week. So just like the options for F1 students, employment on the J1 academic training must be related to a student's field of study. Unlike the F1 post-completion, the J1 academic training is exclusively processed by your school's international office and not by U.S.CIS. If you have any questions about employment as an international student on F1 or J1 status, make sure to leave me a comment in the comment section below. If you found this video very helpful, please give it a like and share it, and also subscribe to the channel to catch up similar high-value content coming your way. For more helpful resources, check out our website at sojourningscholar.com. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll catch you on the next one.